They weren't made during the war, but they brought its horrors back to life. In the 1980s, filmmakers uncovered the darkest corners of World War II, stories of betrayal, heroism, and survival you were never meant to see. Some of these films hit so hard, they left audiences speechless. Military metal. In this video, we dive into 10 great World War II movies of the 1980s that didn't just entertain, they immortalized history. Empire of the Sun, 1987. Before the war, Jim had it all, luxury servants, and safety behind the gates of Shanghai's elite. But when the Japanese invade, his privileged world collapses in seconds. Separated from his parents, 11-year-old Jim finds himself in a brutal internment camp, where survival becomes his only goal. Empire of the Sun, directed by Steven Spielberg, doesn't just tell a war story. It tells the story through a child's eyes. As bombs fall and soldiers march, we see a boy transform into something both brave and broken. Christian Bale, in his breakout role, delivers a haunting performance that makes you forget he was just a kid. It's not just about battles. It's about what war steals from innocence. It's about hope flickering in darkness. And when Jim salutes a kamikaze pilot in one unforgettable scene, you realize even enemies can share humanity. This isn't just a film. It's a coming-of-age story set on the ashes of a world at war. The Big Red One, 1980. War isn't always about victory. It's about survival. The Big Red One follows a battle-hardened sergeant and his squad of young, often terrified soldiers as they move through North Africa, Sicily, and Nazi-occupied Europe during World War II. They're part of the U.S. Army's legendary 1st Infantry Division, known as the Big Red One. What sets this film apart is its raw honesty. Director Samuel Fuller, a World War II veteran himself, based the story on his own harrowing experiences. That authenticity bleeds through every scene, not in big speeches or glory, but in the quiet moments of fear, confusion, and brotherhood. Lee Marvin, grizzled and grim as the sergeant, anchors the film with a silent strength. Around him, young soldiers come of age while bullets fly, friends die, and orders don't always make sense. This isn't a film about heroes. It's about men who kept going, not for medals, but because they had no choice. Gritty, personal, unforgettable. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, 1983. In a Japanese prisoner-of-war camp during World War II, two men from opposite worlds clash, not with weapons, but with pride, culture, and silence. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence is a haunting exploration of power, humanity, and the invisible lines between enemies. British officer Jack Selliers, played by David Bowie, carries the weight of guilt and rebellion. Opposite him stands Captain Yonoy, a man obsessed with honor and discipline. But as war rages outside, a stranger, quieter battle unfolds between them, one of mutual fascination, repressed emotion, and painful memory. Director Nagisa Oshima crafts a war film unlike any other, less about explosions, more about emotional warfare. The tension simmers beneath every glance, every unspoken word. And when the moment of Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence arrives, it breaks you. This is not a tale of victory. It's about surrender, not to the enemy, but to our shared vulnerability as humans. In the end, it reminds us, sometimes the deepest wars are fought within. The Dogs of War, 1980. War doesn't always wear a uniform, and in the Dogs of War, it's bought, sold, and executed in silence. Christopher Walken plays Jamie Shannon, a battle-hardened mercenary hired to overthrow a brutal African dictator. But what begins as just another covert mission turns into a brutal reckoning with conscience, corruption, and the price of violence. This isn't your typical war film. There are no front lines, no medals, just shadows, lies, and men who kill for money. Shannon isn't a hero. He's a tool, sharpened by years of bloodshed and betrayal. But as he uncovers the true motives behind his mission, the lines between soldier and pawn start to blur. Director John Irvin delivers a gritty, slow-burning thriller that explodes into chaos when the bullets finally fly. The final raid? Pure tension and strategy. But it's what comes after that leaves you thinking. The Dogs of War reminds us, when war becomes business, morality is the first casualty. Fat Man and Little Boy, 1989. Before the bombs fell, there was a decision. Fat Man and Little Boy dives into the heart of the Manhattan Project, the top-secret mission to build the atomic bomb, and the moral weight that came with creating the most destructive force in human history. Paul Newman stars as General Leslie Groves, the tough military man overseeing the project. Opposite him is J. Robert Oppenheimer, played by Dwight Schultz, a brilliant physicist torn between scientific ambition and the terrifying reality of what they're building. Together, they represent the clash between duty and doubt, progress and devastation. The film doesn't show war on the battlefield. It shows war in the lab, in heated arguments, and behind closed doors where history was rewritten. Every scene pulses with tension as deadlines loom, egos flare, and the stakes rise beyond imagination. By the time the bombs are ready, codenamed Fat Man and Little Boy, you're left asking, were they building a weapon to end the war or just unleashing a new one? Nighthawks, 1981. While not a traditional World War II film, Nighthawks, 1981, carries the war's long shadow into the streets of modern-day New York. It's a gripping tale of post-war terrorism, political paranoia, and the ghosts that still haunt the globe decades after WWII's end. Sylvester Stallone plays Deke Da Silva, a seasoned undercover cop suddenly assigned to a counter-terrorism unit. His target? Wolfgar, a cold-blooded international terrorist trained by war-torn Europe's most ruthless factions. Wolfgar isn't just killing, he's making political statements with every explosion, and he's brought his war to American soil. What makes Nighthawks so compelling is how it explores the evolution of warfare, from soldiers in trenches to assassins in city alleys. Stallone drops the muscle-bound act here, delivering a performance full of restraint, doubt, and fear as he hunts a man trained in the legacy of global conflict. It's a different kind of war film, one where the enemy has no army and the battleground is everywhere. Escape to Athena, 1980. Set on a sun-drenched Greek island during the Nazi occupation, Escape to Athena blends wartime tension with high-stakes adventure, unexpected humor, and a cast bursting with star power. But beneath the charm lies a deadly game of resistance, survival, and redemption. Roger Moore plays a suave Austrian commandant who's more interested in ancient treasures than Nazi ideology. But when Allied POWs, including an American archaeologist and a cheeky USO performer played by Elliot Gould, plot an escape, things spiral into a chaotic mix of explosions, sabotage, and surprising alliances. What makes Escape to Athena stand out is its tone. It walks the line between war thriller and caper comedy, but never forgets the stakes. The island's beauty contrasts sharply with the brutality of war, and as the prisoners band together with local rebels, it becomes clear. Freedom requires more than courage. It takes unity. It's a war film that dares to have fun without ever forgetting what's at risk. Come and See, 1985. Come and See is not just a war movie. It's a brutal, unforgettable journey into the heart of horror itself. Set in Nazi-occupied Belarus, it follows 14-year-old Floria, whose innocent desire to join the resistance shatters into a nightmare of death and destruction. Director Elim Klimov doesn't hold back. The film drags you through the chaos of war, bombs exploding, villages burning, and the unimaginable cruelty inflicted on civilians. You see Floria's world crumble, his youth stripped away with every horrific scene. But Come and See isn't just about violence. It's about the psychological scars that last long after the guns fall silent. The film's haunting visuals and unflinching realism leave you breathless, reminding viewers that war's true victims are often the innocent caught in the crossfire. It's a masterpiece of despair, a warning of what happens when humanity loses itself to cruelty. Triumph of the Spirit, 1989. Triumph of the Spirit tells the harrowing true story of Salamo Arauch, a Greek-Jewish boxer imprisoned in Auschwitz. Facing death daily, Salamo is forced to fight for the entertainment of Nazi officers, each victory buying him a precious day alive. Starring Willem Dafoe, the film captures the unbearable tension of surviving in the world's darkest place. Salamo's boxing matches aren't just fights. They're battles of hope, courage, and sheer will against a backdrop of unimaginable cruelty. But this story is more than just survival. It's about preserving humanity when everything tries to strip it away. As Salamo endures loss and despair, his spirit refuses to break, inspiring everyone around him. Triumph of the Spirit reminds us that even in the depths of horror, the human heart can fight back. And sometimes, that fight is the greatest victory of all.